The point is to really identify what is that thing you're going to create and obviously solve. And the way that I've been doing it is having a lot of conversations with people like yourself listening, and people who have been writing in from my email list is, these are folks with existing businesses that are looking to implement AI, but create a very custom type of solution. Hey, I'm Joe Fier, and welcome to the Hustle Flowchart Podcast. This is where we talk all about building businesses so they give you the freedom and fuel for your life. I'm not here to help you build a billion-dollar business, but I am here to help you create a business with systems that work for you so you can make more money than you need just by working part-time. I was a chronic hustle mode kind of guy, and I want to share my experiences and mentors I've met along the way to help you reframe things to be the most effective as an entrepreneur. I wish I had this guidance and insight when I was younger, so that's what I'm doing here for you. Please share and enjoy. Hey, what's up? I am back with another episode solo, and I'm going to piggyback off of the last episode I just released with my old co-host and buddy, Matt Wolf, who has been going deep into the AI game and created a whole, YouTube channel and futuretools.io website that's been crushing and riding this AI wave. And I want to keep riding that wave with you here because I have been doing a lot in the AI space, much more quietly than Matt has. But I also wanted to clue you in on some perspectives I've been having really a lot lately, but have been building over the last handful of months. And this is to show you where you can think about how you can establish yourself with AI. Because I just wanted to share a few, an episode of a podcast that I just heard that was talking about basically the genie's out of the bottle, and it's ticking time bomb until there's going to be a pretty big shift when it comes to how we're all interacting with each other, but in business, technology. And then also with this wave that's happening right now, we're noticing, we're just seeing so many updates around AI. It's gone to the government where they're having hearings now about it. There's just releases all the time. All the big ones are implementing AIs like Google, Apple, and beyond. OpenAI, of course, they're releasing new things all the time and updates. There's plugins with ChatGPT now. Who knows when ChatGPT 5 is going to come out, but already this thing is multiple times smarter than the smartest humans. So just thinking about this, we're in a very interesting time right now as entrepreneurs and people who can create. And knowing that, there's going to be some disruptions, and there already have. There's going to be changes in how roles, how jobs in general, people that are working for us or maybe us for others, for consultants for other companies, things are going to change. And I just want to extend this episode to you because these are my thoughts, kind of raw for you. And I want to give you some of these tools and resources I've been using to optimize my business with AI, and also some thoughts about how you can potentially build your own AI solution as a product or service, and the ways that I'm thinking about it, because that's also something I've been doing, is chatting with a lot of business owners about ways that they can use AI for their business to scale lead generation, conversions, customer service, and happiness there, and so many other ways to just optimize efforts, save costs, and essentially leverage AI as in more of a customized way. So this episode, I want to split it in two parts in a way, is make it kind of concise here, is how you can optimize your business right now using AI. And I'm going to give you some handful of tools I've been using basically daily to do that. And then some thoughts about how you could potentially build something of your own that you can then sell as a product or service to your existing audience, or maybe a brand new one, and leverage some of these tools and develop it yourself. And hint, there are some no code ways to do this. And, there are a lot of developers. It's just kind of putting it all together. So I want to start in the beginning and is talk about this podcast I just listened to. And this is on a separate podcast I'm shouting out here. So it's called The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. And it's episode 252. And he named it an emergency episode. And it's with an ex-Google officer named Mo Gaudat. I believe is how you say his last name. And they talk about how the genie is out of the bottle when it comes to AI, is that the fact that this is in the hands of everyone in the world right now, this most intelligent thing, or this thing that can at least expand and scale into rapidly the most intelligent thing is that it's brings us to a point that is interesting. And I'm not saying scary or any of that kind of stuff because it's different and we don't know how it's going to shape up. But they were talking about the next handful of years are going to be different. And with this rapid emergence of technology and these tools now that are built on back of ChatGPT and these large language models are some very interesting things, but it's obviously going to shake up what we're currently doing. And how can you really predict that far into the future, knowing that this technology exists and that there's these new tools that pop up literally overnight because of the no-code solutions and the fact that you don't need to code a ton to get some of these things out there. Yeah, or there's already existing tools out there, i.e. over at, if you go to futuretools.io, shameless shout out to my boy Matt again, you just see the amount of tools that are out there and the different categories of how you can use these things. And I'm not going to list them all out here, but the point is, we all have it's kind of like an even playing field right now. And there's a gap right now. And I'm seeing that through my conversations with a bunch of business owners. And also exchanging a lot of chats with you guys that are listening and emailing me back and stuff is that everybody's interested in how to use AI. At the same time, a little cautious of where the heck is this going to go, but knowing that we're in a unique position as creators, as entrepreneurs, people online here, that we can leverage AI in our current business, but also consider creating some AI-based solutions for yourself to expand and potentially create kind of like a moat. So optimizing current business, I'm going to start there right now because some of the tools I'm using, I'm just going to list a few of these out and you might be able to swipe them, but also keep in mind, go to Matt's website because it's a great resource, futuretools.io. It's just awesome. So I'm going to start with content. I'm a lot of branding and content is what I have going on here at Hustle and Flowchart. And I'm using some tools to generate things like the podcast, the blog posts, YouTube, or sorry, not YouTube, but soon to be on YouTube, social media, captions and things like that, descriptions across the board, ways that I can really leverage SEO and do it in a kind of cohesive plan. So I've been using tools like, for instance, after I record this episode, I have an editor and I have folks that help me post and organize all this stuff, but there's still tools in between that help save their time and also allow them to do more. So one of the tools I use is cleanvoice.ai. And, that's not going to do all of the editing, but it's sure as heck going to get like 80% of the way there. And it's going to help, it actually transcribes your podcast and does a few other things as well. And there's a bunch of tools that are doing this, but I'm finding that that's a great tool. So my podcast editor uses that, and then she takes that and edits a whole bunch of other little things, mistakes or restarts or whatever I might have in the episode. But this allows her to get more done and quicker, and it's a great tool. So cleanvoice.ai is great. Cast Magic is another one that I'm starting to experiment with that will then help you kind of extend that one recording into all sorts of different assets. It can help you with your show notes, with your emails, with social media, with all these different ways that you want to be on platforms as a content creator. These are things I'm starting to implement more. I have not used Cast Magic yet, but soon to be. And I use the AI generated stuff, but I'm actually, putting my own spin on it as well, of course. And you should always do that as well, I would say, is doing that in a way where it's going to allow you to stay consistent in your business. And if you're not feeling consistent with the stuff you're putting out or anything like that, these are ways to leverage AI. And of course, the writer's block or the didn't have enough time kind of things pop up all the time. And a lot of us are pinched on time. Well, this is why AI can help kind of further that for you. Now, some other things that I've done in the AI space is leveraging it to create that Hustle and Flowchart bot. So sitting on a bunch of content like I've been sitting on with these podcast episodes, over 500 of them, tons of guests and people on here, is I wanted to create something actionable for folks to use and ask their questions and get prompts on how they can solve whatever it is they're going through. So the Hustle and Flowchart bot, which is free, by the way, you should check it out. It's over at hustleandflowchart.com/bot, B-O-T, hustleandflowchart.com/bot. Go try it out because that is my MVP, my minimum viable product of a chat bot based on the content that I have and making it more accessible. And that gave me a lot of insights into what it takes to build a bot, but also how to leverage some tools that are out there. So I'll name a couple really quick. There's one called chatbase.io. That's really good. That's kind of like a simple way to get a bot created based off of some content that you feed it. And then it will essentially make it a more of a conversational thing for you. And another one that you could use is called withdelphi.com, is to create a bot that way. And that one is a little bit more friendly for podcasts like this one. So those are two tools that you can create kind of like a simple, broad chat bot based on off of content. And the uses are, that could be a lead generation tool. That could be a sales conversion tool. Think about if you're sitting on a lot of course content, that could help your buyers maybe retain your customers for longer. So it's actually giving them a better just-in-time kind of experience. These are ways that I've been enhancing, my listener experience, but think about customer experience. So there's a lot of ways to do it. It's almost like a virtual assistant in a way for personalized support. So think of those things. And there's so many other options in these kind of broad tools that are pre-built for you that are pretty inexpensive. Now, there's a whole ton of other uses for this. Obviously, I want to tell you one more. When you're using ChatGPT, there's an app, this little add-on called AIPRM. And this essentially is like a ChatGPT database of prompts that are all organized based off of likes and ratings and reviews. Again, it's called AIPRM. And this thing is great. It has a whole bunch of things that can help you with copywriting, with SEO, with prompting mid-journey if you're creating images. It can create strategies around keywords and how to outrank other people and how to basically do a whole bunch of stuff that is all pre-planned for you. Social media posts, it'll give you a whole bunch of different things that you can kind of prompt and then give you ideas. So that's one of the tools that I've been using, and it's pretty incredible. Now, again, don't take it for as it gives you, because these things might be smart, these tools and the assist algorithms, but again, use your own logic. Your human brain is still has that human touch, thank God. So I'm always running it through my own logic and filters, and my team is as well. So, all right, now I want to shift the conversation to more of the building your own AI solutions and customizing things for a specific audience. That's how I see it going with AI and building some kind of solution, is getting very clear on the problem you're solving and who, not going wide. That's something that Matt was talking about. And he's been on some Twitter threads as well and debated a bunch of people on this. Is, SaaS businesses, software as a service business, someone, or a business that kind of serves a wide range of people and is kind of like a broad solution it's gonna be tough to run those kind of businesses leading into the future, just because of AI and a lot of the tools that already exist and how simple it can be to create something pretty simple with like a no code solution. For instance, like there's no code tools out there like bubble.io that will help you create something and integrate AI and allow you to spin it up and launch it without coding. There's a tool called Audio Pin that I have been using, and it's great. And that was created, I think, in a weekend using Bubble or some other kind of no-code solution and hooking up ChatGPT to it. And then boom, you have a product and it started making money. There's a Twitter case study thread from the owner on that specific tool that you can look up if you want. So that's an example of creating a solution. Now, that specific tool is pretty wide. It's just like a audio note-taking tool that then condenses your notes using ChatGPT. Pretty cool concept. But the thing is, I feel like it's got a lifespan to it. It's not super customized to a specific audience or a solution. So what I would recommend is to narrow down, what's the problem you're trying to solve and who you're solving it for. And there's a lot more of a custom development element to that because, of course, maybe there's some no code to that as well that you can kind of spin up an MVP, kind of like what I did with the Hustle and Flowchart bot. But at the same time, really customizing this thing and dialing it in to deliver specific solutions to that audience, but also like the back end, like what's the data that's being learned from this, from the interactions that whatever you create. I mean, that's where a lot of this value comes from. And then how can it sync up into, let's say, a product or solution that exists? Maybe it's a lead gen app or, conversion mechanism. It helps with the branding, whatever it might be. I mean, there's so many applications to AI, of course. The point is to really identify what is that thing you're going to create and obviously solve. And the way that I've been doing it is having a lot of conversations with people like yourself listening, and people who have been writing in from my email list is, these are folks with existing businesses that are looking to implement AI, but create a very custom type of solution, an app, a chat bot, something that can help. That usually it's a customer journey optimization. Like, how can we improve that customer journey that leads a lead to a conversion, a lead prospect to a buyer? So that is one way to think about how to use like chatbots, for instance. I was kind of talking about that with the Hustle and Flowchart bot. It's creating a journey for folks. And that's one way to explore building solutions. And there's a lot of ways you can build things to retain people and offer better support. Like I was talking about, if you have courses, or if you're working with someone who has a bunch of course content or sitting on a bunch of content, you can help make that a lot more discoverable, maybe answer people's questions like customer support right away, and then offering a solution, maybe that's a paid solution or a free solution, whatever it might be. It creates a personalized experience around this whole thing. So I want to put this in your mind just because it's how I've been thinking of things, and really niching down and getting into a vertical would be the smart way to go from what I'm finding. And with the rapid pace of how things can be developed so quickly right now, that's how I'd recommend if you were to actually explore building your own, or hit me up if you want to chat about this, because I love talking about this, and there's honestly kind of unlimited possibilities, but at the same time, it does take time and money to develop these things, of course, but the unique solutions is where it's at right now. And it's, riches are in the niches, is kind of the saying, or niches. So that's, I think, more than ever right now in this AI phase, is that, we could take it and let's optimize what we're already doing, get savvy with some of these tools, and use these tools and maybe some other ones over at, futuretools.io. Again, I'll shout it out, shameless. Is gather your thoughts around how you can then customize something like that, or think of a way to create a solution that's more for a niche, a vertical, a specific business, maybe someone you're partnered with already, an existing client that you can then service further and grow the value of their business. And maybe you can take a piece of that or charge them, whatever it is. But the point is, this is kind of the strategy and the framework to do it effectively without being swallowed by someone, creating something with no code and in a weekend and kind of wiping out your idea. So, or you can do that too, because it sounds kind of fun, but just know that longevity of that might not be as best as opposed to going narrow. So these are some of the actionable ways that I'm seeing to use AI right now to, for one, optimize your business. I would start there and definitely try out some of those tools that I listed. I'm going to put them in the show notes as well over on hustleflowchart.com, and go check out the bot. Like, I would love your feedback, and I would love you to kind of see this in action. And that's my MVP. It's the very first iteration of like a public bot based off of my content, but I'm looking to optimize that as well. Go to hustleandflowchart.com/bot. I would love to hear what things that you're getting from there. People are saying like the suggested questions on the bottom after they plug something in are pretty phenomenal, because it gives you more ideas on how to prompt on your specific question, and maybe it allows you to, definitely allows you to go deeper and then give you a custom solution. Go check that out, that bot out. And I would love your thoughts on my thoughts when it comes to building new solutions in the future too, because I don't know if I'm right or wrong. We're all in this thing together. We're all riding this AI wave, and things are moving so fast. We're learning so quick. I feel like my brain's always swelling, but that's a great thing. And I would love to speak with you. So if this is something that's interesting, if you have a business or a client, or you just see a need that needs kind of like a custom AI solution, specifically a conversational kind of thing, because that's what I'm most interested in, is like how to personalize conversation based off of some information you're sitting on or that company's sitting on, kind of like what I did with this podcast, and allow someone to bring their own unique set of things, like their data, their input, and then how can we create a nice solution there that then helps people out. And so if you want to chat with me about that and kick the can around and toss some ideas around, I'm opening up some time on my calendar for that. Just hit me up at joe@hustleandflowchart.com. joe@hustleandflowchart.com. That is my email, joe@hustleandflowchart.com. And I'll definitely get back to you. I've had a lot of people writing in, so if I haven't yet, I will get back to you, I promise. So that is it. I will keep the AI episodes going because I know there's a lot of feedback here. So I think it's wanted and appreciate you. I can't wait to hear what you are building. I want to help you out if I can as well. I find this super exciting. That's what I got for you. All right. That's what I got for you today. And remember, it's not all about living to work. It's all about working to live, if you need to do the work. But work can be fun and it should be fueling for your life. So if you enjoyed what you just heard, if you got some nuggets of wisdom that you want to share, or you're just noodling on right now, please go tell others. The way that people find this show and how you can help others get their aha moments is through word of mouth. So if it is telling your friend, telling your family, sending an email to your list, writing a review, or whatever it might be, everything helps. So thank you so much for listening to the Hustle and Flowchart podcast, and I will see you next time.